Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. I was just playing some NieR Reincarnation on the mobile phone. Just, what's that? You want me to review it? I mean, I guess I can. Here we go. Music's fantastic. Battle theme is superb in my opinion. The rest of the music is good. The sections where you travel around in the cage are mundane and quiet. The sound design overall, I think, is very good for a mobile game. But this is like coming from the NieR franchise, and the music's pretty good anyway. Also, in the NieR Automata event, you can listen to some banging tunes from that game.
Oh. Change my mind.
Should we talk about the visuals? Now, the backgrounds in the battles are fantastic, very varied, look great. Can't really explore them because it's purely there as a background, but you know, still looks good. The layout, well, I say the designs of the cage itself are fantastic and varied. It definitely keeps this stone structure throughout and then incorporates other elements such as sand for the first few chapters of the game. Then we move on to like the storybook itself. Again, the storybook's visuals are great, very stylized. Enemy design is, I would say they remind me of the Shadows, or no, not Shadows, Heartless from Kingdom Hearts, in the way that they're basic designs with giant eyes, but then they can form many different forms, many different things, and also some of the boss designs are great as well. But in terms of, let's say, actual frame rate and graphic fidelity, I am running it on a Galaxy Tab S6 Lite, so it's not really known for a powerhouse, and this more modern mobile hardware is going to run a lot smoother. I am getting a lot of lag, but I think it's mainly the device that's holding it back. So if you do have a high-end mobile gaming phone or tablet, you're going to run this fine. And it looks great. UI design is very standard for a mobile game. At first, I got lost a lot, but eventually you learn the lay of the land, and it becomes more easier to navigate. But there are some stuff hidden by some other stuff in terms of menus, but it's fine. I would say visuals are good, graphics are good. It's just, unfortunately, I'm running it on lower end hardware and it's slightly struggling. Even this footage you can see was recorded when it was on a low frame rate and a mixture of medium. It's mainly noticeable during some sections of the cage where there is a lot going on visually, and sometimes in battles where it can slow down. I guess we should talk about the story. Now, it's kind of broken up into two sections. You have the main story that takes place in the cage, where your character interacts with another character and maybe a third character. The second stories usually take place within storybooks that you find during the main story, and the whole idea is that you're meant to restore your memories, restore the memories within these stories, and correct them from these crow-like creatures that want to ruin the story. These storybooks are usually divided into 4 chapters, so you have, during chapter 1 of the main story, you'll go in and find 4 chapters of this particular story that deals with a character that you can then unlock, and it becomes part of your loadout. You retain their weapon, and then thus you retain that character. And so, for example, during the first few chapters, during this desert cage section, you discover the story of a prince and his robot helper, as well as this woman who's been turned into a mechanical weapon, and you find out their basic story. Then, since you've unlocked those characters playing their storybook missions, as you play with them more, they have a rank up system. So they have a ranking. The more you play with them, the higher the rank that goes. You can't fast track the rank, you have to play with them. Then you get to unlock even more story about them in the library, and then you can discover more about them, more of their journey, how they got to point A to point B. From the main story in their subsidiary stories. Yeah, very interesting. Those are like the two stories. Also, some of the subquests again also have stories. For example, the NieR Automata event has its own story as well. That kind of vaguely goes into NieR Automata's story, but not too much that it doesn't spoil the game. But anyway, that's the story. It's very interesting, very par for the course for the NieR franchise. You know, can get depressing at times, but it's filled with hope, regret, and retribution. Okay, right. It's a mobile game, so let's talk about microtransactions. Now, once again, this has a very similar system to many other mobile games out there, which is, well, I guess I will refer to as the two money system, where you have one form of currency that you get abundant, a large amount, and the other currency system which you don't get as much. So for this game, gold is the abundant amount of currency system. You earn that a lot through basically completing missions. If you're doing the same mission again, you can still earn gold. You use it to buy items. You also use it to upgrade weapons and characters. So for example, if I wanted to upgrade this weapon, I would need some materials that I can grind out for, but in order to infuse it into the weapon, I need to spend gold, obviously. Now, the second currency system is gems. That's more used for the premium items, such for example, the premium summons, you know, the good characters, the good weapons. You can earn them through in-game, like, you know, just completing the level the first time, but if you play it again, you're not going to earn those gems. It's only the first time. And then also, you know, doing challenges. There's plenty of ways of earning them, but again, this is the currency system that you are meant to put money towards. So if you want all the good, cool characters, you're gonna have to either grind out a lot of gems, or go grab your credit card or debit card and pay for them. Also, we got to talk about the stamina system that's included in the game. I know a lot of mobile games include a stamina system where certain quests you can't do over and over again. For example, grinding materials, grinding the NieR Automata storyline. You can't constantly keep doing it. You have to use the stamina system, and obviously it costs varying amounts of stamina. Now, I will say you can regain stamina by just not playing it and just letting it recharge every time, or you can use gems, again the premium currency, to refresh your stamina, or you can use gold to buy stamina items that will replenish your stamina. The exploration minigame does replenish your stamina, but you're only allowed to play exploration once per day, so again, you can only restore your stamina that way once per day. And let's move on to the summon section. So yeah, you can't just get characters you want, you have to unlock them. Now, I will say there are free ways of unlocking these characters. All the characters in the main story can be unlocked for free. Yes, there are higher tier versions of them that you can get by using the premium summon feature, so that is to know. And also, if let's say you rank up a 2-tier character to unlock their story missions, don't worry, if you get the tier 3 version of them from these pools, their rank carries over. So as long as it's the same character, let's say Gala, I have her on tier 2, but she was ranked 3, will it reset when I play her as the 3-tier character? No, it carries over. So as long as you're playing the same character, doesn't matter what tier ranking they are, you will get them. For the NieR Automata stuff, yeah, you can unlock them for free using a lower tier by grinding out the NieR Automata event, or summon them. So use gems to summon these characters. You get weapons and characters, so you may there's a ranking system of 2, 3, and 4. 4 obviously being very good, and you can get 4-star weapons. There is also a chance for a weapon to be upgraded during the opening, so you may have a tier 3 weapon that suddenly becomes a tier 4 weapon, a tier 2 weapon that suddenly becomes a tier 3 weapon. Chances are characters are usually tier 3 and 4, and there's no guarantee of a character each time you pull. Even in a temple section, you'll no guaranteed a character. I managed to pull 9S first time on my first pull, but after that I didn't pull any other NieR Automata character for the remaining 9-10 pulls I did. And you can go watch that video here, there should be a link to it now. So yeah, it's the summon section. It's the idea that you know, if you want better characters, better gear, and get that higher force rating, you know, you're gonna have to spend some gems. Now I will say there are ways of getting these characters. If you don't pull them, each time you do a summon you get a token, and then that token can be used to purchase the tier 4 characters that you want. It does cost a lot of tokens. For example, one character costs 200 tokens, so that's about 20 pulls at the 10 pull a time rate, which equivalates to about 60,000 gems. So you guaranteed to want all 6 of the new characters that you can get. Yeah, you're looking at a lot of gems, and then in order to ascend them, you need to get the same character again. So yeah, it's a bit much, but it's par for the course for mobile games. I'm just letting you know there are ways of getting these characters without having to pull, but you still technically need to pull to get the characters anyway. And there are free versions of these characters through using in-game or using the Automata event to unlock lower tier versions of these characters. So that's good. But so far, all I've seen is 9S, 2B, and A2 as unlockable as the free versions. The other characters from the Summon Set 2 don't appear to have tier 2 versions of them. Maybe they'll come later, maybe I've missed them, but from what I've seen, I haven't seen those tier 2 versions. Only or tier 3 versions in this case, only tier 4 versions. So yeah, and that's it for the microtransaction section. Whew. We're talking about gameplay here. So I guess gameplay is broken up into several different sections. First section being the cage gameplay. Now this is basically moving from point A to point B while the characters interact. There is a slight diversion by clicking on a crow if you see it, and then you getting a slight reward like materials or gold. It's mainly the interactions and mainly looking around, and again in this, well, it's going to be a common theme in this game, but there is an auto movement section button, so you can just let the game move the character to where it needs to go. There are some divergent paths, so you may just not want to. You may want to go off exploring, which you can totally do, but if you kind of just want to take in the scenery and take in the conversation, not worry about where to go, just hit that auto. The second bit is within the storybook, so you can move left to right. It's a side scroller. It's a 2D platformer, but without any platforming, it's just moving left to right, where you can click on objects and items within that story, and it will continue on the story a little bit more. During the character only storybook sections, you click on crows to find out more about that character and more about that story and get a deeper understanding of them. The next main bit is the combat, which is where you're going to be spending most of your time. Again, like the movement section in the cage, you can auto this if you so choose to, or you can take control, and it's basically a turn-based combat where enemies go, then you go, enemies go. You know, there's no real movement. You can move about if you want, but it doesn't really do anything. It's more about trying to combo. So if you attack and one of your party members attack straight after you, you can build up a combo, and as you build up the combo, you do more damage. Characters have skills that you can upgrade as well using items and resources that do buffs and debuffs, heals the character. Eventually you'll unlock a companion where the companion can do its own special attack. You see a little bar in the corner that will go around, and then you can use one of your companions or characters' companions attack. That's either a buff, debuff, heal, or even a status ailment, which is generally going to be blind, so they hit less. And the enemy can hit less and buff themselves as well. Overall, there's this force, which is basically your power level, how strong your party is. The higher the force, the stronger your power, stronger your party is. Generally, each mission either a main quest or sub quest or battle is going to have a force rating, and if yours is higher than that force rating, you're probably going to do very well. You can change your party loadout before each mission. You can either set it to auto, so you go, I want a certain affinity. You can go into individual character and kind of build them the way you want them to, because any character can hold any weapon. And then you can build them like, I want to auto build them as an attacker, or a defender, or a buffer or debuffer, or even support as a healer. So it's interesting. There are some things you can play around with unlocking them, but it's mainly the more you level up and the higher their tier system, the more levels they get, the higher your force rating is going to be. Going back to the element alignment system, it's very basic. It's like the rock, paper, scissors. There should be on screen right now showing the basics of it, where this element beats this element, but this element beats this element, but this element beats this element, and it goes around in a triangle. And the light and dark element are just weak to each other. If you're redoing the same quest, for example, if you're trying to gather materials or trying to unlock tokens from like the NieR Automata event, and you want to keep doing it over and over again, you can set it to just auto replay the battles over and over again for a maximum 10 times, and it'll tell you this is how much stamina you're going to need to do this 10 times, and it will just play the battles. It will go, play the battle, wait 3 seconds, play the battle, wait 3 seconds. And then it will tell you, oh, this is how much materials you got at the end of the battle. This is how much EXP you got at the end of all the battles as well, even though the characters will level up in between each battle. So that's handy, useful. There's also an eco mode on it, so it draws in less power, which is good if you're trying to run it and your tablet or mobile device drains the battery quickly. It will reduce it. You also have mini games, for example, like exploration. Exploration is the mini games that you can play once again to boost your stamina. The one I've unlocked is like a bullet shooter where you just move along and it auto fires and auto targets the nearest enemy. The hitboxes are a little bit weird on that. Sometimes you feel like I should have been hit, and sometimes you feel like you don't want to be hit, but it's a fairly easy game. I've managed to get an S ranking, so it's fun. It helps with getting your stamina up. Characters and weapons have tiers, and you unlock. You need to gather items, materials, and use gold to unlock these characters, and then characters can ascend, unlocking more skills, able to level up even higher. Final bit that hasn't been unlocked yet at the time of recording this video is the arena. I feel like this is going to be the play to win mode. Story missions and even side quests, you generally don't need to put money in order to complete them. Simply playing the game, I've earned enough gems to unlock and progress fairly quickly throughout the game. But I feel like the arena is going to be where it's going to be the PvP element, where you're trying to compete with people, and having the better gear, the more items, you're going to be able to do better. Also, going back to microtransactions, you are able to pay to basically complete chapters. You know, you can pay to finish the game, which is stupid because you want to play it, so you want to experience it. One of the strong points of this game is its story, but it's like, oh yeah, you can watch the story again, all that stuff in the library later on. So it's like, hey, you can unlock everything now, and then you can go watch it all back for money, which is annoying, but yeah, you can do that. Also, you can pay money to get materials and items and stuff like that you need, not only with gems. So there is that microtransactions thrown into the gameplay as well. So, can I recommend this game? Well, obviously, if you're a NieR fan, you're going to be playing it, but anybody else, I don't know, it's still a mobile game. I do think it's one of the better ones out there, but it's no Genshin Impact, which has a whole open world to explore. I mean, yeah, you are playing this purely for the story, and if you're into the NieR franchise, so it plays to its strengths, but it still has all those niggling microtransactions that usually come with mobile games. I'm enjoying it, but I wouldn't be surprised if you wouldn't enjoy it, which I guess is kind of a non-answer of would I recommend it. Well, you know, if you've watched this review, you've already come to your conclusions whether you want this game or not. I mean, I'm having fun. Sorry for hitting the mic. So, if you want to see more of this kind of content, remember to subscribe, like, ring the bell. We'll be doing a lot more NieR Reincarnation videos, pull videos, guides, etc, etc, etc. So subscribe if you want to see that. And I'm going to get back to my game. You know, I mean, I could just leave it on auto, to be fair. work on some other stuff. Yeah, I might just do that. I'll see you guys on the next one. Morse. Marvelous. Together on the track. Let's go. Red sus, red sus. Red sus, red sus. Red sus, red sus. Red sus, sus. Red sus, red sus. Red sus, red sus. Red sus, red sus. Red sus, sus.